So is a Labrador Retriever more efficient as a guide dog than a Golden Retriever? This question, I get it from time to time, and I thought I would do a video on it today because a friend of mine actually asked me a couple of days ago. He is in the fortunate position of being on the short list when it comes to the list that applicants get assigned to when they have been approved for a guide dog. So the guide dog school has done their due diligence to make sure that you as a potential candidate have the ability to function independently and are able to look after a dog properly. So yeah, my friend is actually going next month to get his guide dog, and he asked me if I had a preference when it came to the type of dog I would want, a Labrador Retriever or a Golden Retriever. So for those of you who can see, you were looking at a, fill in the blank, Labrador Retriever. This is Neeson. He is 5.5 years old. He's my third guide dog. He comes from Guide Dogs for the Blind in California. And right now he's just chilling on his bed. Well, not his bed, one of 3 beds. If I turn around, you'll see Rufus, our Dane, and Louis, our Mastiff, St. Bernard Great Pyrenees, on the other 2 big dog beds. Anyway, yeah, so the differences between a Labrador Retriever and a Golden Retriever are not significant enough for me to choose one over the other. That said, there are a few differences, both in physical stature and in temperament. And I'm just going to talk briefly about those differences. I'm not going to go into great detail on like the development of the breed and all that fun stuff, because I don't think you guys care about that so much. So the Labrador Retriever and Golden Retriever are both amazing dog breeds. They belong to the sporting breed. So they were initially bred to compete in sport, retrieve waterfowl. They are both very versatile dog breeds. They both have great dispositions. They're great around kids. They're patient, kind, loving, gentle, enthusiastic, up for anything. Great family dogs. Typically, the Labrador Retriever is they have a little more of a tendency to be a little more upbeat, a little more energetic. Goldens tend to be a little more passive, a little more subdued, a little quieter. Now, this is on average. Obviously, there are exceptions to every rule. Goldens tend to be a little more clingy than Labs as well. They tend to seek out their owner's affection a little. They can be a little more clingy, which for many people is fine. And again, there are exceptions to every rule. My first guide dog was a Labrador Retriever. His name was Luther, and he was very clingy. I called him my little Velcro buddy because everywhere I went, he would go. As far as stature goes, so here's where we get into, we could be very scientific here, because there's American breeds, there's Canadian breeds of Labradors, there's English. So I'm not gonna touch on that too much. I can in the comment section if you guys have questions about the individual breed lines. I will say typically the American lines are a little taller, a little bit leaner, a little bit more athletic looking. The British lines are a little more blocky, they have the big blocky head, a little stouter appearance. Goldens are typically a little smaller than Labradors. Now I say typically because I've seen some very, very small labs, and I've seen some pretty big Goldens. So again, this is why I was saying that, you know, these breeds are very similar. There's not a lot of difference between these breeds, and again, not a significant difference that would result in me picking one over the other. Now, the one, if there was a characteristic of one or the other that would maybe make me think about choosing the other, it would be the risk of cancer. Since the 90s, the rate of cancer in golden retrievers has gone up exponentially. There's no 100% reason for why this is happening, but it has been documented. People seem to think that there was some kind of mutation in the gene pool that got introduced somewhere in the 90s. So there is an increased risk of cancer in golden retrievers compared to Labrador retrievers. As far as shedding goes, many people think that because Goldens have more hair that they shed more. I disagree. Labradors can shed a ton. Just because they have short hair doesn't mean that they don't lose that hair. Both breeds have double coats. Both breeds typically blow their coats twice a year. And let me tell you, whether you're vacuuming up long hair or short hair, it's still hair. So if anyone tells you labs don't shed as much, tell them that they don't know what they're talking about. As far as color, Goldens are typically golden. There's different shades. Labradors can be brown, chocolate, so brown, black or yellow. So some people have a preference when it comes to that. And as far as like upkeep and maintenance, you know, they both require, they are a sporting breed. They are very intelligent, they're very active, they have energy, so they definitely need a good chunk of exercise, if not daily, every other day. As far as working capacity goes, these dogs love to work. They love being outside, they love experiencing what life has to offer. So if you are a good owner, if you're a good guide dog user, you'll give these types of dogs plenty of work, plenty of praise, plenty of affection, and you'll try to challenge them as well, because they are very, very, very smart.